right? So the way that I'm seeing this is, even if she did know, even if she was competing, unless to be fair, she does have some responsibility in sticking into it.
That she was this way before she ever got with Derek Jackson. Let's say she was incomplete. How many times we told women we've seen Kevin Samuels build this platform talking about how women need to be in competition with the women around them. I think she did it in the most unhealthy way, where she tried to emulate the women that were around him. But I can't honestly sit here and say I don't think Derek Jackson knew that. I can't honestly sit here and say that he didn't know that she was trying to screw like the other girl, or wear her hair like the other girl, or dress like the other woman. And I think he played on her insecurities. We know in real time, we watched him hype up himself and talk bad about the men around him, talked about how bad it was to cheat on your women and things like that. And he was literally doing it as he was speaking. And then we watched a woman break down live in front of us. We seen the path that she went. You can't tell me that he didn't know this, or that he didn't break her, or play on her insecurities and broke her even further. Because even if she did do all of that to get his attention, he still married her. And not only did you marry, you still wind up cheating on her.
Yeah, I think I don't want it to get twisted. I think Derek Jackson is a joke of a human being, personally, just because he plays on we already see that. I mean, he plays on women's emotions. I mean, that's how he built his platform. The question was, what do I think is, what was my response to what she said, and based on the information that I see, yeah, she has insecurities, but remember, as her statement says, she studied other women, right? The question would be like, why would what was so great about him for her to want to stay with this dude? Right. And to the point of that, she would go and have sex with this dude, knowing that he's having sex with other women. But in the beginning, it made it seem as if she didn't know anything about it. If you follow the story, is what I'm saying.
But is there an instance where she said she didn't know? That I don't know that there is. Now we can look and we could assume based off of what we see, but I don't think that there was any indication that she said she didn't know. And I'll go with your example. Let's say she did know. Let's just say for argument's sake that she did know. Even people who do know, there's levels to it. There's some things you just don't do, right? Let's say that she said, you know what, I recognize that you are in the world's opinion a high value man. You got clout, you got money, you got looks. And let's say she went. At some point, there's limits to this. And when you can go so far with his message about, I remember hearing him say things about women you're excellent, and a man who can't see how excellent you are don't deserve. I mean, he would just go off, and he's doing the very thing he's talking about to his wife, right? So the way that I'm seeing this is, even if she did know, even if she was competing, unless to be fair, she does have some responsibility in sticking into it. But the truth is, in relationships, sometimes you go further than you actually are aware of. And just because you have some things you need to work on doesn't give the person you're with license to exploit that. And I think that's what happened. So we flip this around, and let's say that his wife, Dania, was the one who was, prominent social media, and she did this to him. And it came out, and he was doing the interview saying that, I saw my wife doing this with other men, and I studied other men because I was trying to win her. I think this conversation wouldn't be the same, right? We would be dogging her for what she did. She's a modern woman. We really wouldn't be. I'm talking about most men, not thinking intellectual men. We would have took this and run. This is why you don't want to get married in 2023, because this is how all wives are. It seems like when it's with men, we find little outs to give them. So she knew about it, and therefore she knew about it. Well, it shouldn't matter as much. That's kind of how it comes off.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what it probably was. She probably knew about it. It's probably been going on for a while, but what women don't like is the public embarrassment. Mm-hmm. So I think that once the story unfolded, and she's kind of put in a situation. I mean, it's kind of really hard to say that's not true when the evidence is out. So I think when it became public, it just changed the whole dynamic of it. Now, when it went public, you had two things that was going on. She's feeling embarrassed, and everybody knows about her broken marriage. And then you also have, Derrick Jackson, his brand is being ruined. So I'm pretty sure, him still being the man of the house, he probably said, look, this is what we're going to do. And she might have already been broken. So when he's presenting this message to her, she's going to probably just go with it because she don't know what else to do. I mean, this is anything that happens like that comes out, it just destroys everything that's around. Like nobody really can actually say, I have a plan for this to ever happen. So once it happened, she probably might have had some conversations and probably came to her senses. She might have went through some therapy, and she probably got herself back up. But she might have known all along. But I don't think people really realize that when a woman is broken, how the mind works. I mean, like people do it all the time. Even the people around you, you just don't know about it. It could be happening right now. It could be people that are struggling. It could be people that are assuming a lot of different things with their marriages. It's people that you think, it's people that have probably had somebody step out within the marriage. But the difference is you guys just don't know. So
yeah. Just want to double down on one quick thing, man. We I think after thinking about it more, we may make women feel insecure more often than we think. If you really think about it, right? Say your lady has had your kids. You may have 2 or 3 kids, and she's gained some weight, and all you following on Instagram is slim chicks or chicks with fat asses and chicks that look nothing like her. You know what I'm saying? At some point, maybe she has to internalize that when she sees, you liking these pictures, you following these chicks. Maybe you leave a comment and she sees that. Do we think that they don't internalize that? What if your chick is following nothing but dudes, light skin or dark skin, with perfect beards and perfect muscles? You know what I'm saying? At some point, you're like, damn, why is she following all the gym bros? You feel me? So I think maybe there are things that we do that our person may internalize that we don't even think about because we just do it. And at some point, if they come across that, I can understand how they would start to study it and become obsessed with it. And maybe feel like they need a BBL. Maybe feel like, damn, well, what can I do? Is this what he really likes? Does he really like me? So I don't know.
So when do you take a stance on that certain stuff? Like if you see your girl following all these dudes and doing all this on social media, that's when you say something. We don't see the conversations that they probably were having in between all this stuff. Like she says something about the chicks instead of going to study them and seeing what he says in response to that. So just taking a stance for yourself.